Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Eleanor's Elite Radio, and this is your host, Eleanor. I hope everyone had a blessed and very safe 4th of July weekend. I did. I personally went and hung out by the pool and had martinis. That was my idea of keeping safe. Today we have, I'm very honored, Mr. Geo Ropert, a wonderful guy. I met him at the Business Acceleration Summit. I think it was, 2 months ago?
2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3 months ago. And Geo is a wonderful gentleman. He is the president of Ropert and Partners, PR Marketing. And he is just a dynamic individual. Gave me a lot of wonderful advice that I took to heart and kind of went with it. Anyway, I'd like to welcome Geo Ropert today to the show. Hi, Geo. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Eleanor. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I think first and foremost, could you give a little background on Ropert and Partners?
Ropert and Partners is a firm that I started 2 years ago, and really kind of the culmination of all of the work that I've been doing in public relations and marketing communications for about the last 17 years. I've done consulting before, and have also been employed by both for-profit and nonprofit organizations, small and large businesses. And this kind of just came around to an opportunity where I said, it's time to take all the things that I've known and all the people that I've helped and turn that into a business of my own. And so I built Ropert and Partners really on a collaborative kind of scale where I work with a variety of folks who are professionals in their own right. I've got social media experts, writers, web developers, anybody who does anything related with marketing and communications and public relations. And what we do is we basically put together the team based on the client needs. So instead of having full-time employees or folks that I have to pay consistently whether they're working or not, I'm able to get the right people to put the right team together, and so that benefits the client. It saves them not only money, but it also assures that they're getting the kind of service that they really need.
Right. So not every client, of course, not everybody needs all the people that you have to help you. Some people just require, maybe they want to rebrand themselves, kind of like what I came to you for. You gave really such wonderful advice, and a lot of times business owners are so busy, I don't want to say thriving, but they're so busy surviving that they kind of forget, maybe someone else is kind of from the outside looking in to see what your needs are. And that's what you do.
Yes.
You are the outsider that can look into someone's business and be able to pinpoint exactly what their needs are, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of the things that you find, and even I as a business owner find, is we become very focused on our business and we see it through our eyes instead of kind of maybe an objective or an outside point of view. And so that's always great. When you have somebody who can come in and look at your organization without filters and really say, okay, here's what you're telling me, here's what my research has shown, here's what we believe is going to be the best for you.
Right.
And hopefully we put together the product, as far as the service goes, that's going to help you grow your brand, grow your business, grow your profits, your customers.
Well, for my listeners, maybe you should explain public relations and marketing and the difference between the two and how they complement one another.
Yeah, one of the things that is always very sometimes a challenge for us is to get people to understand the differences, because public relations is really about the brand and the reputation management of an organization. It's telling their story. Who are they? What do they represent? What are their values? What do they mean to the folks and to their customers, to their audiences? Right. So it is really kind of a brand building, reputation management, crisis communications sometimes comes into that, unfortunately.
No, I'm sure.
Any business can have a crisis, and having a good PR firm at the ready is always a great thing, large or small. Marketing, on the other hand, is the promotion of products and services with the hopes of increasing sales. And so the two of them have often, and in fact in the past, lived in really two separate silos. And you'd have the public relations side telling this story, and then the marketing side talking about the products and services, but not the two ever meeting.
Right.
And what's happened is kind of a transformation over the last few years, probably the last decade or so, is to see those two become closer aligned, where you're able to tell the story, and that story of the business is reflected in the products and services. Because if you believe in the company, you're going to start believing in their products and the things that they offer. And also you want to ensure that the communication is consistent across all of the platforms, because now you're not just dealing with TV, radio, and newspaper.
You're right.
Used to be real easy.
Right.
you could put it out there, measure it, and it was very. Now you're dealing with multiple media platforms,
right.
digital media, social media. Your website has to go and say the same thing as the marketing side that you're talking about to your customers. You have to have consistency across all of that media.
Now, let me ask you a question. Since you do marketing and advertising for your clients, how do you feel about Facebook and how Facebook offers for X amount of money per month that they get you X amount of likes and views of your business? How do you feel about that?
Love it.
Really? You do?
Yeah.
Even though this is what you specialize in?
I was... in fact, I just finished an article. I write for Space Coast Business Magazine and I4 Business Magazine, and I just sent in my next article to them, and it talks exactly about that. So, apropos that we're talking about this today,
and when does that article come out?
That one will actually be in September.
Okay,
so
we'll keep our eyes open for that.
They have a long lead time, but the article itself really does. I was not a fan of it when it first came out. 2008 was when I first got my first Facebook account, and it was because a friend of mine said, "You have to get on Facebook because I'm on there, and we should be friends." I said, "Okay, all right." So, and begrudgingly, I did that. Yeah. But what I have found is that Facebook, not only a great way for connecting people, but it's a great way for brands to connect with their audiences and their customers. And it started out all well and good as Facebook was a social sharing site. Facebook needed to monetize and make money.
Right.
I mean, they went with an IPO a few years back, and they tanked after the first few days.
Yes.
Now they're worth, their stock price is
ridiculous,
just off the charts. But at the same time, what they have done is they have found a way for people to get their message out, but you have to pay for it. Facebook doesn't cost a lot of money. That's one of the things. It's very affordable, and it's also easy to use when you want to segment your audiences. You don't pay and it goes out everywhere unless you want it to, and then you're paying tens of thousands of dollars. If you want to reach the entire country and blanket with just a general message, that's great. But what you can do with Facebook and all the other platforms too, Twitter, LinkedIn, you can get that source of audience that you want. Right. You can really delineate who you want. I tell people, if you want to find, a father of four who wears a blue work shirt and is home by 6 every day, you can probably find that in the Facebook audience charts. Not as depth, but you can. If you are a business that is a professional service business, say you're an accountant or you're a chiropractor, you can get out to a very
specific audience.
Yeah, if you have products that are specific to women's health, you can find women who are, into fitness. If you have a specific
certain age groups,
age groups, and right down to where they live. So if you're a local business and your clientele is local, you can put it into the city or within a radius. So you're not paying for unused ads, I should say, and it is very targeted. So I like it. I like social media. I like what it's doing. It is a learning process 24/7.
Yes, it is.
The algorithms change.
Everything does. And that's what I like about you, because when we met, I was questioning you and asking you about certain things that I might be doing at the time, and you were like, oh, go for it. Go for it. If it's working, run with it. And I like that about you, because you're giving everybody an opportunity, to advance their business, or maybe pick a larger or a more specific audience with maybe not such an expensive route, I would say. So now that we're talking expense and finances, could you tell me what you offer to your clients and what are your services?
We provide a variety of services when it comes down to the actual strategies that we employ. But what we offer is media relations, brand building, marketing, We do advertising through some third parties. Most of our work is really establishing and developing the storytelling, developing the content that an organization needs to get their information out. So we do things, we write articles, we write blogs, we write press releases, we do photography and video, all the things that the media is looking for in order to tell their stories, to tell stories within their publications.
Now, for people who are listening, could you tell them, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but can you tell them how to get in touch with you? Phone number?
They can reach us at 321-205-3155. They can also find us at ropertandpartners.com, and they can find us at Ropert_partners on Twitter.
Okay. And of course, all that information will be on my fan page as well, because I like to be able to let everybody know where they can get in contact with you, and you're on Facebook as well.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead, continue about your services. I'm sorry.
Well, what we do is we customize our plans and our services for each account, each client that we have. What we do is we go in and we talk to them, we listen to them, we start exploring where they are in their business, what their brand represents, and what their ultimate goal is. If they are an unknown brand or they're a growing brand and they need to get more publicity, we work with that. If they have particular products or services that they're selling and they need to reach a wider audience, we find opportunities for that. What we do is we will build them a plan based on everything that we share with them, they share with us, and we learn. And then we go about, once they approve that plan, then we implement it.
Because you really have to get to know your client.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
not something you can just go in and buy something and come back out. You have to really know who you're working for and what they represent and what they are about in their hearts as well. Because that's important. You want to convey the right message.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that, I sometimes I still laugh at. People will call and say, I need a press release. And, well, that's all well and good, but what is the reason? What do you hope to achieve from it? What story, what information are you going to be telling? Right. And usually to write a one-page press release takes hours, because it's not just sit down and say, okay, ABC Industries is launching the XYZ product. Right. It's who is that industry? What is their business? What do they specialize? Who are they? What makes this product so special that it's going to get the interest of the media first, and then the media's audience. Right. And the first part you have to do is get through the media. Right. And you know that right now, especially in the newspaper industry, there's been an exodus, not on because they wanted to, but on the part of reporters and staffing, because print newspapers are getting much smaller. Their staffs are smaller. It sure is. They don't have the plethora of reporters that they used to. You're right. So now you've got one person who maybe the business editor is also doing some feature stories and is also covering this. Well, they can't just write it. They have to have photos. They have to have video. They have to have everything else that is going to intrigue the audience, because their story is not just in the paper. It's now online. Right. So it has to be something that they can use, and you have to make their job easy. Right. So the more you can provide with them or for them, the better off you're going to be, and you also have to have the relationships with that media. Right. I agree. You do have to get to know somebody. You just can't do this off the cuff of your shoulder. You have to basically get to know what their business is, who they want to target, what they want, what they're selling, and what they don't want to sell, or what they want to attract and what they don't want to attract. Right. I can't imagine being able to do that. I really can't. I couldn't imagine doing what you do. But maybe I do in a way. I don't know. It's all about relationship building. Public relations is personal relations. Yes. It really is about building that one-on-one relationship, whether it be with one reporter or one writer or with one customer. Right. And the beauty that social media and the digital media has allowed us to do is it allows us to be personal, but on a grander scale. Right. So now we can be personal with 1,000 or 10,000 or 1 million people. Absolutely. Each person can feel that they have that relationship with you because they're seeing something that appeals to them. Right. You're able to find the heartstrings You're able to find the emotional triggers. You're there to find the mental triggers, those things that make them take action. And it really is. It's wonderful because you can do that now. Social media is social, and it is personal. And a brand that knows how to do that, and people that know how to do that,